Some Denver Broncos rumors here, and we're back on this one again. Teddy Bridgewater trade. Not the first time we talked about this one, but there was an update on it from Peter King, who says it would not surprise him if in the event that the Denver Broncos did not draft a quarterback, that they could trade a mid-round pick, not really specified, so let's say a fourth-ish, for Teddy Bridgewater. And this is not the first time we've discussed the idea of a Bridgewater to Denver move. The biggest problem as it relates to Bridgewater getting traded to anybody, Denver included, is his $17 million base salary. You're not going to pay that for a guy who may or may not start for you, given that there's also Drew Lock on the team. That's an expensive price play. That's Mike Glennon money for a starting quarterback right there. I like Teddy Bridgewater. I have been a fan of Teddy Two Gloves since he was at Louisville. I've been somewhat wrong, somewhat right on his actual talent because with the injury did sap, I think, a little bit of it there. He wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination for the Carolina Panthers last year. But he also wasn't good enough. And that is why Carolina went out and gambled on Sam Darnold, hoping, hey, he could be the guy for the Panthers. I think as a low-end starter, high-end backup, Teddy Bridgewater can be that guy. My question is this, though. Does that work for Denver? Because you have Drew Lock, Brett Rippon, and also Jeff Driscoll, and Driscoll's not very good. Bridgewater, at minimum, comes in, and he's the number 2 quarterback on this team. But if you're just going to roll with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, are you actually in a good enough spot as an organization? Remember, Vic Fangio, meanwhile, if they don't win this year, GM George Payton might want to bring in his own guy at head coach. So there's a lot riding on this for the Denver Broncos. And again, if they don't go quarterback, which I think they might, we'll see. Now, as we sit here looking at Drew Lock, there is some question marks around him in terms of if he can be the guy. I think comparing Drew Lock versus Teddy Bridgewater in 2020, I will be upfront and honest, I thought Teddy Bridgewater was better. Now, Drew Lock is younger. There is, in theory, more upside. I think his arm is better than Teddy Bridgewater. He'd love to go deep downfield. Drew Lock did with varying degrees of success on that front there. But I like Lock, at least the upside of him, from that perspective for Denver. If you want to bring in somebody to push Drew Lock, it could be Teddy Bridgewater. But it simply cannot be Bridgewater at his current base salary. Again, you see that the numbers there for Lock, the numbers compared to Teddy here. I thought Bridgewater was better. Now, Denver had plenty of injuries. I don't want to make some hating on Drew Lock. He could be the guy for Denver. I'm not convinced he's going to be the guy, though, in the end for the Denver Broncos. So, Denver, I don't think, is done making moves at this position, which should surprise nobody. I don't know who starts in week 1. I don't know if it's Lock, if it's someone like Bridgewater, a different unnamed veteran-type quarterback, or if it's a rookie. So make your predictions for me in the comments section. Who do you believe will start for the Denver Broncos at the quarterback position for this upcoming year? Make your guesses right now for me in the comments section. Talking about a potential Broncos and Miami Dolphins trade right now, and the source of this story actually kind of comes to us from General George Payton, GM George Payton, if you will, of the Denver Broncos. No one got that joke. Oh, well. He said that the team has spoken with the Miami Dolphins, and it wasn't, and he even specified, wasn't words of wisdom, they're competing. Look, I am reading between the lines here, but that sounds like they were talking trade to me. When you're competing like that, that's the way I think about it, at least doing some groundwork for trades there. Payton said that they were not looking to move up, but looking to move down. Miami has 2 first-round picks, 6 and 18. Denver is sitting there at number 9. It's also worth mentioning, by the way, that George Payton worked with the Dolphins GM, that is Chris Grier, previously. Now, the Dolphins have plenty of assets to play with. In this hypothetical, apparent reading between the lines trade talks here, moving up from number 18 to 9 would be fairly expensive for the Miami Dolphins, and we will break down who they could be targeting here in a second. But in terms of you look at the NFL Draft trade value chart, just how much it would actually end up costing, this is about what it would be. It would be a first and a second round pick to Denver, 18 and 50 to Miami for number 9. Now, Dolphins, that's a little bit too pricey there. You could do like 36 and get a third round pick back. Maybe that feels a little bit better for you. They're all about equal on the trade chart. Denver does win this one, though, by at least a little bit. So who says no to this potential trade idea? Get your votes in right now. You can type D for the Miami Dolphins, or you can type in B for the Denver Broncos. D as in donkey, B as in boy. Get your votes in there as to who says no. Let's start with who could Miami be trying to go up and get here. Now, part of this depends on who they take at number 6, right? If they take Kyle Pitts 6, well then duh, they're not going to trade up for him. If they take a receiver, maybe Jamar Chase, they're not going to move up for another receiver into the number 9 spot with Denver. Maybe they get weird and take an offensive lineman there. I think those first 4 names probably make the most sense if it is a Kyle Pitts at number 6. But if the Dolphins want to get Pitts and an impact receiver, number 9 makes sense for that. You can get Devonta Smith or maybe Jalen Waddle there. There's been some buzz that team, namely head coach Brian Flores, likes Micah Parsons. Well, getting to 9 would jump the Cowboys and Giants, teams that in theory could go linebacker if the Lions pass on them at number 7. Maybe Penei Sewell slides down and go, yeah, we didn't want him at 6, but if he's fallen, let's go up and get him there. So those are some names I think could make some sense for the Miami Dolphins. As for Denver, I don't quite have a great feel for what path they could be pursuing. In theory, I think they would move down if they don't want a quarterback and or maybe Micah Parsons himself is off the board. Elijah Vera Tucker, Christian Darrisaw if you want to get some more offensive line help. Greg Newsome if they want to move down and take a cornerback. Maybe they get lucky and like J.C. Horn or something slides down there as well. Maybe a different linebacker, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Jamin Davis from Kentucky. If they want an edge, Ojulari fits that scheme pretty well. The trade down for Denver only makes sense to me if they are picked over. And I do want to bring up this point as well as it relates to Denver. We're taking the general manager here at his word when he says, oh, we have not tried to move up. First off, even if you did, you never admit that because that's blood in the water for other NFL organizations. Dolphins have the number 6 pick. And if they get picked over, or let's say Chase and Pitts are off the board, they could move down to 9 and still probably get an impact receiver from Alabama. So maybe there is at least the possibility, and I wanted to bring it up here, that, hey, you know what? Maybe Denver's not being truthful with their intentions with the number 9 overall pick.